Hello, everybody. Tech Stack here. Hey. So, didn't stream last night. Here's why. I got on a roll while I was offline coding, not streaming, and didn't want to stop. So, here are just a summary of some of the things I was able to do. So, I made the enemies unable to move during their own attacks, right? So, no more, I'm going to slide my feet towards you as I'm stringing the bow a million times an hour, right? Or added a cooldown to the enemy, so no more firing at a million mile an hour. Tighten up the player controls. So by that I mean I made it more responsive to your inputs, right? Before there was basically relying on the Unity access system, which I'm still doing, but I'm doing it in a different way, where it no longer relies on it going from 0 to 1. It basically is going to go, or from 1 to 0 once you let go of the button. It gradually goes down as the default. I made it so it's much faster, almost instantaneous that it goes down. And that makes it seem very, very responsive to your inputs. Added low colliders. So this was one of the issues that I had with my arrows in the game, running into things that were below the player, but you couldn't walk through. So that pit in the dungeon, for example, they wouldn't fly across the pit. I think that's an important thing to allow, and it's now possible. So I've added another tile map, which is a collider tile map still, but it's low and on a different layer that's no longer set to collide with projectiles. Organize my scripts, that's kind of nothing, just move things around. Fixed player animation bug and hooked up the death triggers. So you now have a death animation. So does the enemies. Not sure it's working 100% of the time yet. There's another piece of that. Added a coin image and then set up its imports this morning. So I was on a roll there. It was a lot of test it, code it, test it, code it, test it, code it, back and forth. I probably played the game 50 times for each one of those, tightening up the controls and changing how the enemy fires his weapon and stuff. Those type of things just take a lot of time, and if I feel better about it now, like the game feels more like a game. It's definitely more playable while it's trying to load here. I wouldn't say that it's 100% yet on the controls, but it went from 50 to at least 80, maybe even 90% of the way there from yesterday. Come on. That was the right scene. Oh, it took so long I didn't think it was going to be the right scene. Yeah, so start the game. Let's maximize this. I'm going to show off basically what we were just talking about. One of my things I need to do today is clean up the overworld here. So get rid of some of this junk, fix things. So you can see he's fired, but he only fired once. He didn't spam it. He's stopping walking. I can fire at him. It just feels better. Like I can walk in one direction, like this direction, and then turn and swing right away. Before, you'd have to wait till you came to a complete stop, then turn and swing. It wouldn't respond. Otherwise, now it is. You can see he played his death animation. Might have to fix it a little bit there. It looks like he stood back up after it. I have to see how to do that one. What else? Oh, let's go into the dungeon. Just in the dungeon, we have that. What's it called? Pit that we now can fire our arrows over. It's like a little thing, but it's going to be an important mechanic in the game. So, boom, fire right over it, right? But they still stop when they hit the wall. So it's nothing that really changes the overall thing. Hey, Pineapple. How's it going, man? Oh, no. But it looks like I can walk over them. Just this one, though. This one's okay. That's interesting. So I must have not put it on the right layer. So let's fix that real quick. Desert Dungeon. tile palette and select the layer. We'll select this as well so we can see what's on what layer. So we got a low colliders layer and tile map. Yep, it's not on that layer. So what layer is it on? On ground. Okay, so what I learned yesterday as part of this, so I've got it already selected from yesterday even. So I can go to low colliders and just paint this in. There we go. I should fix it. I can go back to ground and just set this and erase this from ground. Now, I select everything. There we go. I'm gradually learning this tool a little better. I was able to move things from layer to layer pretty easily by basically just going to that given layer and how I do this with just get me out of this. Oh, yeah. So you hold control as you click and drag with the brush, and that's the eyedropper tool, and it gives you that on your brush. The size of the thing that you're copying, so you can copy a whole area that way. So if I would have been on the right layer, if I go low colliders and do that again, boom. Now I can paste that anywhere else, even a different layer, by choosing a different layer. So that's a quick way to move things. Okay, but for today, let's go back to the overworld. I just wanted to fix that bug in it. And we will rename our stream here to Fixing the Village. Oh, those don't do it that way, do it this way. There we go. Okay, let's go to the A-star part. Here we go. Grab this tool. And we need to go to... I think it's the overworld. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can't fix this first, because this you can walk over right now. There's no collider there. It's probably on the ground layer. So we'll do the same technique here if we can. Copy big regions of it, maybe. Take that size, go to low colliders, and paste that in. Why is it not showing? Okay, it must not be on that layer we copied from. Tile map. Ground. It is on ground. Ah, it's something else on that layer. Okay. Is it deco? Oh. On top deco. It is on collision. How can we walk on it then if it's on collision? Let's turn this part off. Let's go to this tool. We'll select this again. I don't see a collider being generated for these. It's interesting. There's also two lines there. Something's not lining up. Is this grid? No. Tile map collider 2D, and it's got a composite on it. Generation type is synchronous. Go manual for a second, regenerate the collider, and then go back to synchronous. It's not generating one, so let's do this. So we're on collision. If I select this layer, this tile. There we go. And I go to water, animated. Double click that. Collider type none. It is a sprite collider. For all of these. I have to do it for every single one of those, aren't I? Okay, let's do it this way instead. So I'm gonna hit F here. This will take us to the project window where it is and go from water 1 all the way up to water whatever. 40. Okay. 1 by 1. Let's get through all of these. Hello, goodbye. You can come in here, Andrew, if you want. It's fine. You don't have to be shy. Uh-oh, is my Discord connected? That's what? It's... you have special powers, Andrew. You don't have to be shy, you can join me. I'm pretty sure I put you in that group. Make sure. Yeah, you got Stream Voice. So I created a role that's allowed to be in there. Oh, okay. Yeah, it shows a lock for me too. Maybe it's just showing that it's not open to everyone. Not sure what they've done. Mic around? I woke up earlier and I was looking through my notifications on my phone for Discord, and I think it was Mike, and he said, "I'm home now." And I'm like, "What?" And I clicked on the notification, and it took me to your guys' Discord server, but there was no message that said that. And I was sitting there really confused because I just woke up. Like, why did I see that? And I didn't understand. Maybe it got deleted. I've done that before where I've posted in the wrong channel and quickly deleted it, but it still sends the notification out. Ah, okay. He got the wrong channel, didn't he? Yeah. Been there. Okay, this is the waterfall. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it with Sprite on this as well. Sprite collider. This is a path. There's no need for a collider on the path. And no need for a collider on that one. So it should be good now. Wow, that save actually took a second. So now if I go here, and I uncheck this and recheck it so that it hopefully recalculates everything. Doesn't look like it did. And now it did. Definitely did. So let's see. So if I go manual again. Oh, outlines, that's what I wanted. Synchronous. can't tell if there's a collider there or not. It's just showing the green line over the... It is a full cell, or full sprite, so it would make sense that it would be a full cell. It's not like there's transparency in those water blocks. Let's try it. Yay! Can't walk into the water now. Shoot an arrow over it from here, but not from there. Okay, so let's now move it, now that they've got colliders on them, to the proper low collider layer, and that should fix it. So back to palette. Guess it really doesn't matter which palette I'm on. I just want to control, click this much. Go low colliders instead. And go back to collision and erase that. It shouldn't look like anything actually happened. Top map. Okay, so it's not there anymore. But if we go to low colliders, let's go to ground and get deleted the ground out of there too. There we go. So now if I go to low colliders, you can see it because the ground. So the ground and low colliders both share the same order and layer for now, because I don't see them ever occupying the same space. So they're mutually exclusive for now, at least in my mind. So there's no need to separate them and then have to shift all this order and layers, everything else. Okay, so let's go ground. Let's pick a different size brush, I guess, like this, and start deleting the ground out from underneath all this. Here we go. And then let's go to collision. And I know what to remove now. So hold control, select all of that. And then that gives me the right size to erase, which I just did. And then I go to low colliders and paint it. Oh, B, okay. There we go. So we've effectively moved it from one layer to another. So now if we go back to colliders and do this again. Grab from there. Erase it then. If I remember the short key for it's D to delete, okay. Too bad there's not a shortcut for changing between layers. Low collider. Wonder if I do this, if that's gonna be bad. We'll select more than what we've got on that layer. And then erase, of course. And then brush, low colliders, paint it in. Perfect. Doesn't have to be exact when it's a different layer around it. So collisions, hold control. Select that much. Erase. Okay, I won't be able to get all the way because of the house in the way. Apparently that's a collider too. D to erase. Book colliders, B for brush. Boom. Colliders. There, that was way less painful now that I understand the tools required to do what I'm after, basically. Let's get rid of that one, too. Why do these houses have these pieces of grass that's on the collider layer? Apparently I copied and pasted them, didn't I? Alright, so let's save here. We'll go back into play mode. We'll test it out. Make sure I can shoot an arrow over it. Make sure I can't walk into it, that type of stuff. Arrow goes right over, no problem. Can't walk into it. Oh, there were some other things I did too, guys, as part of my updates yesterday. So I changed my collider for my rigid body for my character here from, and all the mobs too, from a, what is it, discrete collision type to a continuous collision type. Not sure if that was the source name, but that's definitely the target name I changed it to. I changed it to continuous. And what that allows it to do is when I apply force to the characters now, like when I attack them, if I can hit him, it doesn't allow it to go inside the houses or anything anymore. He stops at that door, for example, instead of shoving into the collider of the door, because that's what was happening before. Less glitchy and more playable that way. So I think this is fixed. Let's move on to the next thing we need to fix, which is multiple things in this area. All of these... Yeah, so... show you real quick on the rigid body. Where is it? Rigid body, right here. So this continuous, it's normally discrete. It does force it to be on the CPU, it says, when you go continuous, but it's constantly checking as it's moving it, all the points in between, to make sure that it can actually move through there. So if you have problems with things when forces are applied or they're moving at extreme speeds going through colliders, that's why. So those are on the deco layer. Let's see if we can replant those. Boy, do I want to make them respawn to the Y level. I probably do. By that I mean, if the character's at a specific Y level, they can appear in front of or behind it. For these things, these hay bales. And if that's the case, I probably need to erase them, but first off we need to create a object to hold them. So let's save this, go into my dev scene where I create prefabs at, and what's this one? It is already got a target on it. Okay. Not sure. Oh, I was just testing that one. That's what that was. Brand new. Hay bale. A hay pile. There we go. And then it's going to be in the extra objects, I believe, tile maps. So I need all 4 of those on this thing. If I drag those in, it's going to be 2 separate ones, right? It's child? Nope. I do them one at a time. You need to at least do 1? There we go. 3, 4. And we can go and get rid of this one. Focus in on one of these and reset the transform of the parent, because if I always forget to do that. Reset the transform of all the children. And start moving them around. So I guess 0.5 negative. And this one should be negative plus 0.5. Go. This will need to be up 1.5. Hey, Ultimate. What's up? Hey, you're welcome. So what I'm trying to do is spread our community of game developers on Twitch, right? So I think we can all benefit from it, right? Word of mouth advertising amongst us, right? To all of our different followers. Plus, also when we watch each other's streams, we can often help each other out. So that's another benefit. So this should be pretty much it. I just need to add in the Y sort order thing. Sort order in layer. There we go. This, I'm gonna copy this component. So I'm building a game that's top-down 2D action adventure game. And the best way of describing it further than that is to say heavily inspired by A Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda. So Ultimation, I think that you're game dev, but you might also been doing a overlay. I'm not quite sure which one it was. Apologies. Why did it not paste it in? Copy component. Stream overlay. Okay, yeah, I knew it was one of the two. There we go. Hey, Emma. By the way, Tech, now that you mention it, I'm considering doing that thing where I mine blocks by taking the point raycast of the block to find out what the block to mine. That's cool. I'm 99% sure that the raycast hit will allow you to do that. To say, this is the object or whatever. Or the coordinates of it. Everybody's here. Okay, so if I do this and then set this up as a prefab, dragging it down here, let's create just a folder for decorations, because that's kind of what this is. Scenes, and then let's go back to the overworld, and from there we can go into our decorations, focus on this, and if I just drop this bad boy in here, it is on the wrong layer by default, but that's okay. We can open it up and just set it to 1 for all of these by default, and it's going to be changed as well as soon as the game runs. I'm just setting it to 1 so basically I can see it myself. So there we go. So now it's right there. So now I can duplicate you all over the place. And sorry, Pineapple, no more split things. I'm gonna fix that today on my agenda. Those are probably on the deco layer. Say tile mount. A ton of lore. Oh, I don't know. I don't like that lore though. I want it to be. I've got the lore figured out, and that wasn't it. It was fun to play around with the idea though. Did I design all of the graphics myself? No. Did I design a portion of the graphics? Yes. Is that portion small? Yes. Hay-eating hedgehog. So everything you're probably seeing in the scene right now is not by me. This is the kind of stuff that I did, which those were just fixing some things. So I did this coin. That's going to be our currency value, guys. This is a coin. I did the arrow. I did the key. I did the hearts. I did the interaction thing. I designed these sand pieces for my deserter scene. I'm doing the skull for the skeleton. So, not much yet. And then there's this whole bad art folder, which is stuff that I don't like. See my snake that I started working on? Notice I name it Snake Poo? Because it's poo. Anyway. So now that we got that set, we need to make a decoration for this. And this is going to be a little bit harder. We'll need a couple varieties of this, right? For the wheat. We'll need some that are in the middle, like this. We'll need some that are a different variety in the middle, like this. And then we'll need some that are end caps, one for left and right. So I guess we're going to need at least 4 of them. So, Andrew, I know you were working on this a little bit with your parallax stuff. Is there an easy way, other than just adding additional game objects, to tile a sprite to a set size? So what I mean by that is, in a script, I could say I want it to be 5 long, and it just repeats the same sprite 5 times, short of adding game objects. You're saying there is. So let me look at this one. They already did it for us, but how? Like, you can't set the sprite. So here's my sprite renderer, right? I would assume that... Oh, I just need to scale it in that direction, don't I? Am I an idiot? Okay, draw mode simple. Tiled. Thank you. Set sprite. It's a tiled. It says set sprite what? Tiled mode? Sprite in directory to full rectangle. Oh, I think I know what you're saying. So on the sprite itself, I needed to make sure it's a full sprite image. Hello.
Easier just to do this.
Yeah, it is.
Were you talking about, like, you were saying just like setting a certain width and then it automatically tiles?
Yeah, so like for this wheat, for example, like if I wanted it to be 5 wide, I just want to set the number 5 and it's 5 wide then all of a sudden.
Well, so that's what you do. It's just once you change the draw mode to tiled and then you change the width property that pops up, that should just do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying it with my hay here and it's working just fine. Okay. Thank you. It's exactly what I needed. I just didn't know that was there because I've never fiddled with this draw mode before.
Yeah, and also because it gives you that warning. I don't know what exactly, but if you change in the sprite, like in the actual directory, if you change it to full rect instead of tight, it gets rid of that mess. But I don't know what that affects.
Ah, okay. So tight to full rect, which that will probably screw with a lot of things online because some of these are not going to necessarily be a full image, right? They got transparency to them and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to tile the entire hay bale?
What I'm thinking is the wheat field, right? So instead of me setting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these side by side, I set 1 and say it's 5 wide and be done.
Oh, and that's a part of the tile map, right?
Right now it's part of the tile map, but I'm going to take it out of the tile map because if it's part of the tile map, my character always walks over top of it. But what should happen in reality is his feet should be covered by it if it's a Y lower than him, or he should cover it with his feet if it's a Y higher than him. So I've already got the Y ordering in order and layer script set. So if I set it as a game object, I can do that.
Right.
I was just trying to save having 5 wide game objects by just telling it to tile the sprite as wide as I need it to be.
Yeah. I think
So that should work, I think.
Oh, it should work. Okay. All right. Because I was thinking the only other thing that popped into my head when you were like describing that was how, which wouldn't work, I guess, but like the GUI element. There's that grid thing. I think you know about it, but that's what that popped in. That's for GUIs, so it wouldn't work.
I would say, yeah. And Pineapple, to your comment, it would work only if there's a case where the character can either only go in front of it or behind it. If they can do both, then it won't work. Because the fence is a great example of it, right? So if the character's head can go in front of it when he's down here, and his feet can go behind it when he's up here, it needs to really look at the Y order of the character for that to work. Because it's got to change the character's Y or order in layer based on his Y and the fences. And that's what I've done. So my script here is, I'll show you guys. It's looking at the Y order of that parent. And I set it as a parent because some objects have more than one sprite and they're 2 tall or 5 tall or whatever, right? And you always want to go based on the Y position of the bottom of the parent, basically. And then in update, it's basically saying update and sort order layer, which is just a calculation that's taking the max sort order layer just to get a really high integer, and taking the Y position times the multiplier plus its offset. The offset is the order and layer that you start with. So let's see here. I would have the fence on this one.
Chat, Mike, so I'm gonna hop back over there now.
Okay, thanks for stopping in and let me know that. Appreciate it. Oh, right here. So all these are objects in the world now, actually. These fences. So like this one, let's see. Get this off so I can see what I'm actually focusing on. So like that is a game object now. And it's got this here as well, but its order and layer is 20, so that it's automatically going to show in front. Hey, thank you for the follow. Oh, we're the host. ML Development, thank you. So that's what the offset's about, is it takes the original value so that we can, if we have 2 objects on the same Y, we can say which one's going to be in front still. And then if there's different Ys, the rest of this comes into effect. So the multiplier is set to 100 in my case, because my character goes from like Y or order in layer 1 all the way up to like 50. So by having a variation between a Y at this level and a Y at this level of 100, it allows him to fit in between those layers nicely. And it works out great. Like, he can walk behind these, assuming there was no collider on it. He could walk behind it and show us behind it, or he could walk down here and he would show in front of it. If you just did it based on your multiple tiles, which I do have, it won't work. What you could do is also set the Z point on the sprite with a custom script. Anything with X and Y less than Z, and Z point and X is and X, Y in front, anything higher is behind. That, if you're talking about setting the Z positioning, that would work just like what I've done. But then you have to make sure that your tile map is far enough back to always be behind everything. And I just didn't want to fiddle with it. Because then you also started running into the clipping plane of your camera, right? So I've got quite a variety in my Y orders. In fact, if I just run the game, it'll probably help explain what's going on. I start the game, and I grab my character. Let's pause this before he shoots me. Grab my character in my scene view here. Young character. And go down to one of his many sprites that he's got on him. So he's got this sprite. Right now his Y order is this, right? So if we watch that value right over here, and I go up, well, of course it's maximized, still turn on. There we go. So that Y order should change. What? Why is it not changing? He's dynamic. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I know why. So it's the down one. So this guy's set up funny. He's made it so that only his each direction has a different game object. So it's only going to work when I'm walking down. But you can see it's changing as I walk down. And the same thing will be true for let's go to the desert. That was the main reason I set it up. There's a tree I've set up as a game object in the desert where it's doing the same type of calculation based on its Y value, so that the player can be in front or behind of these trees. So these two trees right here are set up correctly like this. So this tree I can be behind. I zoom in. So I'm behind that tree right now, or I can walk in front of that tree by just walking around the thing. Come on, let me in there. Okay. And then I'm in front of the tree. It's like a stupid, simple... it's a stupid problem to have, but if you have it, it looks totally dumb, right? Yeah, I get what you mean by Z point. Like, I can set the Z position on this guy as well, right? And it'll do the same type of thing. Just say on the trees, for example, it would be bottom center. Oh, like the point on the sprite that it's considering where the calculation is. Yeah. That'll help, but it's not 100% accurate. Like, I still had a case where I would need them to be calculated different. You'd also need in Unity to set the... What is it? There's in the settings, there's an option that says that your Y is your Z depth, basically. Only thing bad I've found about my system is A, you're calculating on every frame, but it's not that big of a performance hit. And B, you have to have it on everything that has a sprite render. So, and actually to combat that, because my characters have all of these in their hierarchy, right? There's like a ton of sprite renders on them. Make them up because there's all like the arms of sprite, the bottom arms of sprite, the hands of sprite, etc. So to combat that, I created this menu in Unity that says add this, and it just adds the components to anything that has a sprite render for anything that's a child of this. And done. So I've made enough failed attempts at making games before to know that if you don't allow yourself to customize Unity to help you make the game, you're setting yourself up for failure. My lazy nature in being a programmer makes me not want to go through 200 objects and set a component on them when I can just code for it instead and be done and do that every time I need it in the future. Okay, so we got that set. We got the thing here. So let's go back to set these up with the their own decoration game object. So we'll say spell wheat, W-H-E-A-T field. Sure. Wheat field mid, we'll call it. Programmer's first comment, how do I make this more automated, or how do I make this easier? Right. There was a quote, I think it was by Bill Gates, and he said basically, give me a lazy person because they're going to figure out a better way of doing it. Faster way of doing it. It was something like that. It's not the exact quote, but you get the idea from that. So this will be the middle object, right? And need the top also. I'm probably going to keep the wheat fields only ever too tall. That is not wheat. Let's get rid of this guy. Right, there's diminishing returns in it, right? So like if it's takes 6 hours to do something that you're only gonna ever do once, it may not be worth it if it takes you 10 minutes to do it by hand. But if it's something you're gonna do 100 times, then it's definitely worth it. And that's where I was with the Y thing. So I literally do that, boom. Now both of these have those. And that's the kind of thing that you learn from being in IT for a long time, like I have, being an old fart, basically. Okay, so we're saying that this needs to be tiled. And right now we can keep it at 1. What's adaptive do? Oh. Does that compress the sprite? Wait a minute. Why didn't you use this for your parallax? This looks amazing. Like, you could just set this to, like... Right? And then set it to continuous. And then it's always wide enough. Yeah, okay. Did you check out the thing I put on my Discord about parallax? I created a scene with 3 cylinders and just put the textures on them and rotated them, and it looked just fine. Like, you could rotate it forever and never run out, and you don't have to constantly be moving game objects back to the beginning of the conveyor belt type thing, right? Because it's literally round. Okay, so that should do. Cool. I'm sure there's a drawback to it, but it worked. Like, if you're in a hurry. Yeah, there's no reason this won't work. That is my mid. Let's just be done. Decorations. Wink. And then let's just change the sprites out for the in caps, basically. So we'll change it to be this one. And this one should be the top for that. And we'll change... crap. We need to create a prefab variant first. I'm used to the old prefab system still. I like this, don't get me wrong, I'm just stuck in the old ways. Let's say left. Okay. And now we can open that prefab and change its images to be the left. Go. And if I could say select, then I can say prefab variant, do one for right. Should be doing it, right? And then we'll need to make one more variant, which is just to give this extra variety to the look of it, basically. And if it goes beyond that, then what I'll probably do is just create another game object altogether from scratch. So this will be the variant. Let's call it alt or alternate. Open that one. It's going to take this instead. Save, go back, and go to our overworld scene. And in here, we need to go to our tile map, and I'm going to erase basically all of these. Just need to figure out what layer they're on first. So, go tile map. Looks like they're on deco. So then I can do this. Can't see the white lines of the eraser. That's scary. Okay, so that needs a ground layer difference, so probably ground. Yep. Well, I'm gonna just do Alt on this one, and then oh, okay, so Alt click, Control click. There we go, Control click. And we go back to our prefabs and decorations, and we got various wheat fields in here. So grab this one. Okay, I see something we need to fix already. So let's go to the root. We're going to set these on a Y order and layer of 1 to start with. I know we're going to end up changing it. Why didn't you fix? You are on Y1. Wonder if I can get my set Y order in layer to get it to run the Y order adjustment at runtime. Or at edit mode, I mean. I don't know if there's an update loop in edit mode in the Unity editor. So what's happening is we've got ground, but then we've also got decorations and this, that, and the other thing that are probably over top of it. And I can fix it by setting these to a much, much higher level. Let's say 5. Are you? Save, go back. Back again. Oh, you're just out there in the middle of nowhere. That's what's wrong. So if I go to game object, select that one, game object, align with view. You're right there. Still can't see you. Zero. Ah. Reset those. Reset those. And this one needs to be up 1. There we go. So 71, 85.5, there we go. And 70.5. Perfect. Okay. I go to my grid. We got these prefetched game objects. It's not really what I want to do. Just do another empty game object. Deco. Hey, piles. Hey, Rub It Up TV. How's it going, man? So Lily Wall can get on here. I have shiny syndrome, and I often go off to other things. So he's there. He can walk sideways. He has a tail attack. And then I was like, okay, I need to put him in a dungeon so that I can see how big he needs to be in the world and stuff like that. And then I started building the dungeon, and I built the first room of the dungeon, and I was like, oh, I need to make moving walls and hook the door system up to this and do this, that, and the other thing. And then, I don't know, I kind of forgot about him and went on to start building a skeleton. And then I forgot about that and went to build this. And there's like so much I have to do. Like whatever inspires me to work on that day, I work on it. So I'll get back to him. There's no question about that. It's just I didn't finish him off yet. The same way all over the place. That's why I make a to-do list. Yeah, exactly. I've got a Trello board that I use for that. It helps. Probably doesn't help enough, but it helps. Let's get rid of these. That was one of my things on my to-do list for today. Getting rid of all the extra stuff. Ooh, not the door, right? Not the door. It needs to be gone. Pushable object, sure. Item drop. Don't know what you're there for. Entry points are needed. Lever is not needed. That should do it. That cleans up the scene a lot. Okay, so now then, back to putting our wheat in here. It's funny, if I get close enough, it disappears. What? Did I say wheat? Should the deco object be at 0? It probably should. Crap. Why does Unity not create a new game object at 0 by default? Why does it create it in some crazy location always? There. Now my transform is in the center of my object like I want. Okay. We'll put this one where it needs to be at 0.5 and 0.5 there as well, and 0 on the Z. We'll throw you into there as a child down here. We'll tell you on your children here that you need to be 5 wide. Dink, dink, dink. There we go. And let's get the right side. Tell it align with view. No. We'll tell it move to view. That's what I wanted earlier. What's my snapping setting set at? Because it doesn't feel right. Is that right? I haven't snapped it now. It's moving by one whole number though. 0.5, 0.5. There we go. Okay, and then we'll put this broken one right in here. Snapped all axes, please. There. That don't look so bad. And that's our first row. And this is going to be our second row. Just like that. Oh, right. Okay. So I didn't grab this and put it down here. That's what's wrong. So now I can grab those, copy them, paste them. So we need, that's the spacing, or is that the spacing we want? I think that. Somebody might be at our house. Okay, so now I can take this thing and move it around based on them not all looking exactly the same, right? So grab the alt variant. Let's move you down to this end. And the mid can snap down 1. Touching. This one, we'll get rid of this variant altogether. We will say the mid for 4 should be an extra thing long. So it should be 6. And we'll snap this down like that. And what else? Let's just get rid of a bunch of these, I think, on those. Do the same. We'll pull both those down 1. Make them 6 wide. This one. Yeah. So did anybody else get a lot of snow? We got maybe 4 inches of snow at most. They were calling for like 5 to 10 inches, but it ended up just raining all day. Yeah. My parents that live to the north of us got 13 inches of snow. Let's try the scene out. Let's see if this is improving things. Make sure that everything's working basically for walking between the rows of wheat, because before we would just walk on top of all of them. It did not look right. There we go. So we're in front of the one down here. And behind that one. I think I might need to change which object's the parent in that. I also think something's wrong on my right side here. They don't look like they ended right. Let's check those right sides out. Where is it? We've got a right side variant down there. And they look rounded out this time. Interesting. Let's go to the mid, because I think that's the root. Yeah, it is. And on these, what if we made them their own parent? And ran the game. So instead of relying on the Y position of the bottom tile, it's going to rely on the Y position of each individual tile for each one. So we walk through this with this hay bale. It looks pretty good, right? We go through it eventually. Same for this. Yeah, that's better. No. No, I like it better the other way. We could get down into it quite a ways before it picked it up. Okay. So there we go. There we go. The other thing we can do is we can set the offset a little bit. So it's set at 5 right now. If I turn that down to 0, what's that do to us? Like, we won't see it in the overview, in scene view. It's going to disappear completely for us, but deal with that. I think the only way to get it any better than that is to not have it as big of an object, like have a bunch of objects. Weed up to my head. And like parts of him are popping through because his Y value changes not by a whole 100 based on it. It's so if he's 70, it'll be a whole multiple of 100. But if he's 70.1, then it's taking that times 100, so it's going to be slightly off. And also his what's the other piece? Each of his body parts is a different order and layer. So his hands might be 40, and his arm might be 30, and his neck might be 20, and his head might be 50, for example, to make him look right. So when he interacts with different things, sometimes as I walk him down here, his hand's starting to show through and his arm is, but say this hand isn't, and now that hand is. This is the first thing that this setup hasn't worked the way because I wanted it exactly like that. Like, why is his body showing, or his belt showing through, but not his body? Kind of weird. I also need to fix the pitchfork there. Let's fix the pitchfork first. He's back to 5, so everything's consistent there. There we go. So this pitchfork is on the tile map, I believe. There's one up there too. Let's make another decoration prefab, I guess. Let's go into that dev zone. Create another empty game object. I'm gonna zero you out now. Pitchfork. And extra objects, tile maps. There's the bottom of the pitchfork. That's probably the top of it. Delete you from the scene, make you the active object. You go Y1. There we go. Then we need to add our special script to it all. Do that so it saves. Let's grab both of these and add the pitchfork object to it. And move it into prefabs. Okay. Back to the overworld. That's sure safe. Go to the tile map. We'll delete that pitchfork off the tile map. Probably on top deco. Yep. Right, we need to start setting these to like Y5 automatically or something. In run mode, here we go. The other one down here. Now I can put it wherever I want, right? Because it's dependent game object, doesn't have to be aligned with the grid. I'll probably make them snap to grid though. Excuse me. I got out in that cold air this morning to shovel and it's messed me up. Okay, what else needs fixed in this scene? Lots of tile map stuff's messed up still, right? So this Stump, where are you at, Stump? You're on the deco layer. Now if I pick you, will you show me what you are? No. Did snow crazy at your place? There we go, that fixes that one. This one's a split too. Hoping next weekend it doesn't snow, so that I don't have to shovel. It's like, I don't know if it's 2 weekends in a row or if there was a weekend in between it didn't snow, but this, I don't enjoy shoveling. Right? I mean, I'll do it, but not my favorite. It's the park bench. Oh, no, no. Fix park bench there and there. Anything else that's split in two? Let's go out of this mode now. Another stump. Okay, that's good. So, let's save this. Let's play and walk around. So I want to kind of investigate how it feels to be in the world, if you will. Okay, so we got rid of a lot of that junk. Let's kill this guy. There he goes. He did play his animation there. Okay, so this needs fixed. He didn't play his death animation when he's facing to the side, so I need to take a look at the animator for that probably. Like, I can just physically walk out of the world there, so that's a problem. Hey, Lenzo. Working on my game. What are you up to? I've got one split object. We need to correct there. Maybe we should make some smoke particles and make smoke come out of the house. I guess that kind of falls into the polish category of game development, but it'll be fun. I need to change out my trees too. They need to be the objects that you can walk in front of. Or behind of. Or behind and you render properly. So like I can walk there. But I shouldn't be in front of it when I'm back here, because it looks like I'm standing in the tree. And I'm not. I also need to change out these trees for those dead trees. I think the whole top should be dead trees. Not really much, don't feel like studying today, so I've been browsing stuff, watching series, etc. I'm with you. Another day I wasn't feeling like streaming and got on a roll coding instead, so offline. Just kept it going. But I'm back today. Maybe you'll be back to studying tomorrow. Unless you got a test tomorrow, in which case, get out of here. Go study for your test. I think it's just that one object. So let's fix that one object. And then I've been planning in the back of my mind to change these trees out. Make a transition into desert looking things, or somehow get it so that it's like a straight line and a single collider for all this instead of having all this crazy geometry for each of the trees. I mean, I do have another exam in 4 days, but there's like no way I don't pass it. I guess I'm just studying to get better grade. There you go. I mean, if you got to do it anyway, you might as well get a good grade on it, right? Let's fix that stocks, and we'll be good then, I think. Let's go timeout. Okay, it is on the deco layer, which is great. Boom, fixed. Do I do it like I just did, or do I think I need to set that up as another prefab object like we've been doing all along here. because it's gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna be able to walk through it and it'll be funny if I don't. So you need to be able to be in front or behind it. So let's create another empty game object, reset this, delete this. We'll call this stocks. I don't know if it's spelled like that when stocks like that. I think those are like Wall Street stocks. Put head into and arms. STOCKS. Stocks are restraining devices that are used to form a corporal punishment. Yeah. That is how it's spelled. That's also how stock market stocks are spelled, which is kind of weird. In a way, it's almost fitting, right? People get tied down to that kind of stuff. I know it's in this game object. There it is. That folder, I mean. Bingo. Bingo. And these two over here. So now we get to put pieces of the puzzle together. Yeah, let's assume that's the bottom. But we'll go to negative 0.5. And this one should be 0.5. And this one should be 1. And 1. And negative 0.5. 0.5. Add a collider to it just for the fun of it. I think it makes sense that you should not be allowed to walk through this. We will give it a size of what? 0.5 high? Sure. We'll take it down. 0.25. Something like that. There we go. And so you can't walk through the head part either, right? And then we'll apply my special sauce to it. There we go. Saved all that. Cool. Save. We'll set the Y order in layer to 5 just so we can see it. And we'll drag it down as a prefab. Go back to the overworld. Special sauce. Okay, tile map, tile palette, whatever. Let's put you there. We will snap to all axes. We will drag you up and over one. Let's put it there. Let's put it there. Nice reminder as you're sitting at the park bench that you could have your head put in stocks. Yeah, I'll run it. It should work, but I'm gonna run it just to make sure. Can't walk through it. I appear behind it. Except for like that. I should appear in front of it there. Did I not check a right box on it? Probably didn't put the parent in or something. I didn't. Okay. So what happens then is this script will try and traverse the hierarchy and figure out what the parent is, but because I'm putting these under an organizational dummy object, it's finding that as the parent, and then its Y position becomes what's used to calculate. Okay. There we go. That's what I want. Did he get stuck on the... Well, he might have. Let's knock him off. Aha, you're hitting the tree. Just barely, but you're hitting it. You died. Your side thing's still not working. Okay. So let's look at that super quick. Knight. Side is this one. Animator die. Its death is set to die. Looks like it should play. Don't know yet. Leave it as a bug for now. Don't want to waste too much time on that while we're working out what the scene should be like. So here is the big cleanup. Getting rid of the trees. Those trees should not be here like this. In fact, let's open up Trello. So I can look at my crappy picture map. Okay. So winter will be at the top, desert on the above the town, town will go off to forest. So this needs to be trees, a transition into trees that are green, right? And this needs to be a transition to dead things, right? That's really all we need to worry about for right now. What else on here have we done or needed to do? Currency started. This is going to be part of cleaning things up on the overall puzzle types. Yeah, okay, I think we're... Toss coin into... Well, we have the coin now. Okay. My wife just sent me a message asking me to let the dog out, so I'm going to go do that. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes. I'll probably grab some water too while I'm upstairs because I'm getting really dry from all I'm talking. So I'll catch you guys in just a couple minutes. Let's play the game and you can watch my character die and all that stuff. I'm sure the guy's gonna come get me. I'm back, last 5.
Without warning, kept it up right till the morning. A new kind of ecstasy. Found a different side of me, the one I'd like to be. A different side of me, yeah. You found a different side of me, like someone pretty neat. A different side of me, yeah. No stop signs, counting down till we take flight. It's how you make me feel. Yeah, let's call in sick and be lazy. I'm all for doing what's crazy, cause you make it real, yeah. You found a different side of me, the one I'd like to be. A different side of me, yeah, yeah. You found a different side of me, like someone pretty neat. A different side of me, yeah, yeah. peeled away. Got me moving through time and space. Your magic can't be erased. Can't be erased. You'll find a different side of me, the one I'd like to be. A different side of me, yeah, yeah. You'll find a different side of me, like someone pretty neat. A different side of me, yeah, yeah. You'll find a different side of me, the one I'd like to be. A different side of me, yeah.
Hello? There we go. I am back. What else was I gonna do when I came back? I know I was gonna do the trees. So let's go ahead and do that. Yay! Somebody stayed. I'm always paranoid about leaving the stream, even if it's just to get like a drink. Never know if anybody's gonna stay. So let's go collisions and let's get the big old eraser out. And let's just start erasing stuff. In fact, let's just do this too. I know what's on collision. So originally my thought with building these trees was that they will stop the player from walking up here. It's too hard to do that, right? You'd have to put them so close together, and these trees aren't set up for that, so I needed multiple collision layers for it, which is okay. But I would need like 3 or 4 collision layers. Well, really all I need is a box, right? I need 4 box colliders. One here, and one on this side, and one on the bottom side. That'll have the same effect. Then artistically, I can do whatever I want from that point, right? If I want trees, fine. But I don't need to have the trees at that point, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up several box colliders in the scene that actually physically stop the player from walking away. And go from there. I also would love to have a better transition to my desert, which is on my Trello board. And by that I mean a transition in the blocks themselves, or the tiles themselves. So one that has grass right up to the edge of sand or something like that, or maybe some dead looking grass up to sand. I know. I'm in Discord. Why is no one else? I used to be a big TeamSpeak fan. And then our TeamSpeak server we had started having issues left and right. The provider was crap, basically. And we found Discord, and at that time my gaming group was also using Slack, so we could communicate by text messages offline. And we looked at Discord and we said, it's TeamSpeak, it's Slack, it's all one package. Let's do that instead, and it's free. I don't have to pay for TeamSpeak anymore, so it's kind of a no-brainer at that point. Okay, so I might put those dead trees up here. I don't know. Just trying to clean things up right now. Let's get rid of these trees. These trees on this side make sense to have a transition into the forest, right? If this is the tree for that forest. I don't know that it is. It's probably the other tree. This tree. So it's kind of wrong that they're on the left side. It would also be kind of cool to maybe have a river as one of the borders, right? But that's going to be dependent on whether or not I add the ability to swim in the game. It would be awesome, I think. I don't know if I'm going to do it, though. It's going to be pretty involved. I'm also realizing that these trees have green on the ground somehow. Unless that's just the collider. No, it's the shadow. That's what it is, probably. That's driving the collider, which is making it be bigger. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's get a bigger area. Why are you going such a small area? Let's leave the rock. We'll leave some of those trees for the little park area that we've kind of defined. Nice. Okay, now let's do these trees. So we'll do like that wide, that tall. Gotta be careful here because I don't want to get rid of the terrain on the left. Because that will be our border on that side, I think. I'll leave that way. Okay. And no, we went top out still. While we're still on collisions, let's move over to low collisions instead. And let's go to... So where did I put it? I think it's overworld. No, it's gotta be rule tiles. There we go. And we're on low colliders. We're gonna grab a brush and we're gonna start painting in a river. Why did that not work the first time? What is going on? That is the water grass rule tile. If I go to that, it's only water-based tile. There's no complete grass. How am I drawing complete grass? If I draw it down there, it's okay. Ah, okay, I get it. So let's erase this. Okay, we're on that. We're on this. It's because the low collider shares the same layer number as ground. Can we do like 0.5 in this? I think it's integer based, but let's try it. 0.5. No, it just goes 5. Okay. Time to renumber them. It's just too much of a hassle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5. What? 4, 5. Okay. What are those on? Doesn't say. So this would be 1. Oh, I can enter your stream voice chat. What? What are you talking about? Alright. Why can't you get in here? I drag you in? No. You're a mod. Sorry, I'm fixing it. Okay, mods can view the channel and you can connect, it says. You can speak too, Dave. What? Oh, welcome, Lonzo, by the way, to the Discord. Didn't see that message earlier. Edit the category and see if that's stopping me, Fire. You should be able to connect, it says. Barry, if you can hear me, try again. Hello? Okay, you're muted. Is that your side or did I do something wrong? I mean, just make sure you can use voice activity too. That might be it.
Yeah, that was totally it.
Okay, cool. Hey, Fire!
Hey.
Oh. What was I doing? Okay, I was setting these colliders up right. So that should be 2. 5 on there. This should be... Oh, it should be 1.
So what made you move it over here?
I didn't want to mix stuff, if that makes sense, right? So I wanted to be able to talk on here and not interfere with TSCraft stuff.
Okay.
And I also wanted to allow other people that I choose to be able to speak in here, but not get them powers over in TSCraft stuff, right? So
Okay.
that was the easiest way of doing it. Because that's gonna be our private server basically going forward. I don't want to. We had too many problems with people going and spamming stuff or just being jerks in the other server. So this is my way of trying to fix it. There we go. Get the basic shape down. So ML development says, "Tell Killjoy I said hi." And if you don't know who that is, Fire, that's Matthew.
Oh, okay.
From TSCraft.
Hey, Matthew.
Okay, so those are. I'm leaving these stream. I'm leaving these because these are going to be islands basically in the middle of it, just for decoration, right? I don't want it to be a constant thing of blue for this river.
Right.
The river also needs to meander a little bit, I think.
I'm saying that's like the straightest river I've ever seen.
Right.
Mine is like concrete-filled ones in cities.
Yeah. And then obviously the other side needs to do some of it too. So you playing the game or something, Fire? What you up to?
I'm watching your stream.
Oh.
Figured I'd come and check the progress. I mean,
Well, if you haven't seen it in a while, I can show stuff off here in a minute.
yeah, I haven't seen any of your videos in a while.
Okay. I will show it off. Just give me a minute to finish up the grass and stuff here.
Yeah, take your time.
There we go. And then we can add in some decorations. Oh, that's annoying. For real? Wait a minute. Maybe I can't add decorations. What the heck? How'd I do all these? What tile were they? Water 19 animate. Oh, those are the animated ones. Really?
Dun dun dun.
Uh-huh. Because that means what I just did I gotta redo, or it's not gonna be animated at all. Crap! Well, I got the outline down. Perhaps I should show the game off first before I go down this rabbit hole. So, forgive me if I show something you've already seen before, but I don't remember what you've seen. So there's arrows, right? So the bad guy's shooting me with arrows right now. I can shoot him with arrows. There's knockback effects and flashy red things that happen when you get hit. I can hit him with my sword. I can hit him with my bow if I can get it in time.
No health bars yet?
Health.
Wait, you do got health bars.
Health's over
I've
here.
seen it.
Set it up so some things you can walk behind or in front of, and it renders right, because that was a pain to get figured out initially. Same thing with this kind of stuff. Like I can walk behind the wheat or in front of the wheat at the same time. Let's go up here to desert. Oh, if you didn't notice, that guy has an AI. I think last time you were here, he didn't have any type of intelligence. The desert area, transition to different worlds. Another enemy. He has a bow right now too. They also have swords. I just have them set to be ranged right now. So I've got a desert or a dungeon set up. I started working on turning one of the characters into a skeleton. You can see he's got a skeleton head, and when he faces one direction, he's got a skeleton arm. But the rest of him still just that other guy, the barbarian look to him. We've got pushable items in the game, so you can push this stone around onto this button, and when it's pushing into that button, wait till he gets up here so I can kill him. Where he kills me? Good, got him. Looks like I need to refresh as chat is borked, kinda. I don't know. But with that stone kind of half on this button, this door is now unlocked, and I could once I develop the rest of it, right, go on to the next part of the dungeon. But right now it's just a visual thing. It doesn't actually let you go anywhere.
Right.
So that's how that works. You can go back out the door. Oh, nice. It didn't work. Should be able to go back out the door. I said go back out the door. It didn't let me. Anyway, it's still a work in progress, as you can tell. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Oh. So let's go to the dev level. And let's save this, yes. Go into here. My prefabs. Enemies, bosses. And I started building this guy. Tagging chatters is broken? Like if you do @ and then their name, it doesn't work? That's crazy. I didn't do it. So I'm going to play this guy, and he's going to go into an animation. I did not do that right. Main camera, let's say tools. This is my scene. Let's set this camera to follow this guy. We're nowhere near 0. Let's get rid of the stocks out of the scene. Okay, this should do it. So he's a scorpion character.
Yeah, I see that.
But what am I doing wrong here? Oh, reset the transform now. So ML Development's talking to you, Fire.
Oh. Yeah, I've seen that you were streaming.
Why is it not showing up?
Been
What is
kind
this?
of busy lately. Like I'm working now, so I work just about every day, except for the weekends. Thank God.
Let's do it this way. We'll look at it in the scene view. So he's got animations like this is his tail strike. I want him to play a different animation though. I want him to play this one because that's the transition. There. Make transition. There. So he's got a sidestepping animation and the let's turn his camera off. Tail strike. So I set it both up. He's going to be a boss. He's going to be significantly bigger than what he is right now. He's going to take up like half the screen kind of thing. And you'll have to fight him in one of the dungeons. Obviously, he's not just going to step sideways and do a tail strike immediately. He's going to have some intelligence to him, but I was just trying to show off the animations I got now. So. That's kind of it in a, 2-minute review? This last time we
Got a
talked.
lot done.
It feels like I have, and it feels like I haven't at the same time. Because, like, this is still basically the same scene, and I want it to be very, very different. And then I have to do stupid things like paint the river twice, because I'm dumb. No, not on decoration, please. Low colliders. There we go. So, all of it, no. I am not good enough to do this kind of art. I paid for the art and have made some myself to go with it since. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in here before. So, how's it going? If not, someone else has a very similar username to you on Twitch. Okay. I guess I'll know if I'm doing this right when the whole thing looks double layered. They should be able to hear you, Fire, assuming he's listening to the stream, actually.
Oh, well, who's checking?
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Not
whatever
that
you
think
say
I'm
is on here, right?
ignoring him or something. I mean,
Yeah. And Matthew, when he streams like in the middle of the day, so like I can barely watch him too because I'm usually at work. I am using rule tiles, however, this is an animated tile in this case, so that's why you're seeing when I place these edges, this here is updating automatically. So like if I were to place that there, it's going to go to that. That's because that is a rule tile, but I need this to animate. I forgot when I placed this down that I need to use this animation stuff. Yeah, it's super annoying. I don't know if there's a way, maybe there is. I don't have it set up right now though, if it is. A way to combine the two. Right, so that you've got a animated rule tile. I don't think the animations have to be sprites, I know that. I don't believe the rule tiles can be anything other than sprites as well. If they could be other tiles, it would work great. So then I would just say plug in the rule tile. To be in water, you know, you kind of need it animated. Oh boy, it's gonna take a while, Fire. Half this isn't even gonna be
shore too, don't you?
right, and half this isn't even gonna be seen unless I extend the where the camera can go, because the camera's locked. It can't go certain areas. Crap. Let's play this. Make sure these are the animated tiles before I do all this wonderful work. All right. The tools main menu. Let's go to scene view. Oh wait, let's load it first. Scene view. Are you animating? You are, ever so slowly. Wait, so is my rule stuff. How did that happen? Did I fix it earlier? I'm not sure why that's working. So, water, grass, rule tile. Yeah, I did set it to animate. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Yeah, there is undo. That's true. This is what I mean, it should be easy enough to paint them back in. With the rule tile, it's super quick to paint stuff. That's why you want to do that. The problem is, why didn't I set one up for the rest of these animations?
Maybe you were going to and you just forgot.
There we go. Because, like, if I were to take this, like, this is plain Jane, right? And then I take this and just put this in the middle. Why is it not working? Oh, B. So if I just put this in the middle, it does that, right? And that's not what I want. I want it to work like I did up here. Okay, how do I do these? What are these? These are animated tiles as well. Water 29. What's this? This is not a rule tile? Not a rule tile. I don't think I did any of it with rule tiles. Oh, hello, in our real games? Is that how you would say that? Sorry for hacking your name. I'm bad at pronouncing names. So I set them all up. So what if I just did this? Look lighter. B. See, that works. It's not a rule tile. It's not a rule tile here. I did it just off of this. Because of that very thing. There's no way to do variations in rule tiles with it being animated. Let's go down again. Let's check it out. It's like I'm probably going to use this water stuff all over the world. So let's make sure it works. So you can do a collider, which we need. Animations on it. We can't do animations and random. It's one or the other. Now what if I set up a rule override tile? Let's try that. So palette brushes. Did I abandon the mod about the technique? I'm gonna assume you mean the mod about the machines. And it's just a translation thing. And did I abandon it? I wouldn't say that I've abandoned it, but I'm not working on it right now. Let's put it that way. It's on pause. Probably for a long time. Rule tiles, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. What just happened, Fire?
turned my mic back on.
Oh, okay. Weird noise happened when you did it. Rule
Yeah, it's because I
override.
used my inline mute to do it instead of my Discord one.
You override a... Ooh. But this is just going to always override it, right? It's not a weighting percentage chance. Hmm. But this could work for me if I did 4 or 5 of these and then used that rule override tile, this one, to paint in those islands and things. Okay, so that's locked, so it's not going to change on me. So I can go Overworld. Where are you? Grasslands. Tile maps. Updated. Animated, animated, animated. It's these ones. It's going to be this one specifically that's animated. And we need to change which thing it is. So the first one can be this. The next one can be this. And that. Or that. Or that. And then anywhere else this rule exists, this should work. Let's try this before I go too far into this, because I think this might work, but it's going to be a pain in the butt. I'm afraid what's going to happen is... How did everyone define this? This rule would work, but I'd have to repaint everything with this specific override rule. And that won't work then. So I'd need a weighted one instead. Water, grass, override. So does it recognize basically if it's the same tile or not? That's what I need to figure out. I'm gonna suspect it won't. So this one, you're not even working at all? Oh, B. Yep, see it does checks it as a different one. Right, there'd be no randomness to it. And I wanted to have 4 or 5 different random things to it. I almost need the rule tile to place it down and be done and not try and update again. And then I can go in with randomness. So this is a no starter. So we're going to delete that one. We do create tiles, weighted random tile. Can I throw in this as one of them? Can't. Because it wants the sprite, not a tile. So that's not it. None of them will work. There's also this. It's just a regular tile. A brush. No. So I need to paint that all by hand like I was going to with the animator one. Yuck. So those root tiles are basically junk. Unless I want a river with nothing inside of it. Okay, let's do this. Where's my confiner at? We're only going to see that portion of it. Ever. It doesn't matter what's out here. Unless I expand where that collider goes. So the amount of randomness to this is going to be very limited. Because anything below that green line won't show. So I guess first off, we need to extend this down. Okay, and then do this just to make sure that if the camera ever goes slightly out of whack, we can still see it as being blue. Let's just make them like this. So these will be colliders or extra objects, right? Go. And go to eraser. Okay. So if I do this one. There we go. Grab that one. We won't follow exactly what I had set up before, but that's okay. Look more interesting this way. Let's do this one. And then that. Nope, this one. This one. Okay. It's not the right way to do that. So I want both of those. All of this. Slow work, but it's getting there. Okay, and then we need that followed by this, and then okay, did we just do it? Nope, almost. Yay. I'm not sure what to do about this. We could try and put the river through here. And then erase the collider layer for this stuff. There we go. And we need to round that off, the collider stuff, by grabbing this and painting it here instead with this. That looks better. And then this blue here can go there, just to fill that out. Okay, now we can start putting some randomness to it. Fill it in with some decoration items, not that many close together. Okay. Lily pads in the intake areas where the water might be a little slower moving, right? And then some rocks out here. And then the white water stuff around the rocks, I guess. Oops. And then some deep water stuff. Here and there, wherever. I would recommend extending those cliff sprites all the way to the water on the left side of the screen. Do you mean like this instead then? Oh, awesome. I was painting all that stuff on collisions. Guess that's okay. It's on collisions. No, it's not. We'll have to fix that. Those need to be on a different layer, not collisions. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, back to what we were saying. Is this how you mean it? Like, to have it showing like I've got it? Or do you mean down into the water? Because I don't think that'll fit. See? It's got green around it. So it's not going to make it look right. There's no water to cliff transition tile I've got. I could do this, right? I could put in a waterfall over here. Or maybe make it over here, whatever. But problem with that is it's not gonna... At least this one's not animated. I need to find an animated one. Okay, so let's go back to low colliders. So we can shoot arrows over those stuff. And do this again. Lily pads. Yeah, I'm with you on that, the limiting stuff, because what I just described to you with the green on the edge was a huge hassle for making basically this hill into sand for a desert biome that I built. So I was making the desert sprite sheet and ran into that problem basically. Okay, let's save, play this, see what we can actually see when we walk down there. Because I'm pretty sure we're not going to see much past that green line, if anything. Because the camera should stay locked in. Let's play like this. Or full screen. Need to take that guy out of my scene too. There we go. So it is animating ever so slowly. But animating nonetheless. Okay, that tile there is messed up. One stinking tile. Oh, it is messed up. Okay. Go. And what we didn't know is go the other way, so we'll go the other way real quick. What you doing, dude? Where you gonna go to next? You're gonna try and get stuck, aren't you? Works for me. Now, can I fix the speed at which they animate? Okay, so open. What's that do? Nothing, right? Can I change multiples of these? No. Like other places in Unity, you can select multiple things, and as long as they have the same attributes, you can edit them all at once. But not this. And I just happen to have 40 of these. Or something stupid. Can I edit that script? I can. Min speed. What are you used for? M min speed. Animation speeds between those two. What are you defined as? The animation speed. How helpful. I can build my own rule tile, right? Maybe for a later date. It basically overrides that. And then randomly picks one or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep changing these by hand. Wanted to go in there and see if making it 10 is what I needed to do, or if I needed to go to like the other way and make it 0.1. That's gonna stink if it's supposed to be 0.1. I can do it again. Did you get a lot of snow, Fire?
What's that?
Did you get a lot of snow in the snowstorm that just went through?
Did I get a what?
A lot of snow.
Oh, no, not that much. I
Wait,
think we got like 3 inches.
That's what we got. We got about 3-4 inches, and they were calling for like 5 to 10, right?
Yeah.
All the way through Saturday, and it just rained all day Saturday. Also did. That animation speed is actually pretty good. It's very, very subtle animation, but it helps sell that it's water. Those sprites need a different... They need a different collider type. Oh no, they are sprite collider type. Crap. Right. So anyone that's listening, is there a way on a sprite, so if I go to the sprite in the sprite editor, to say that this part of the sprite is a collider and this part is not? And I'm thinking along the lines of, I know transparency works, but these are completely opaque sprites, right? So can I define the collider that's generated as a line along this, basically, so that this part is walkable, the green part's walkable, and the brown part and the blue part's not, basically is what I'm trying to do. I don't think there's a way inside the sprite editor to tell it that, because I think this piece here, that green piece, is for 9 slice sprites, and that's not what I want. In fact, I'm going to revert that. I'm going to go back out here. I know there's mesh type tight or full. There's generate physics, which is what's generating the collider. But I don't think there's any way to edit the collider itself to make it specifically the size or shape that you want on a sprite. I'm happy to be wrong, though. Okay, that covers our southern border. Can we, on the northern border, set up on our desert piece here and go like this? And this is not going to be deco, this is going to be a collider. Will that work? You know, that might work. You set up a path like this. I guess this whole thing needs to be in there, right? And then over here we do this side. Oh, bummer. Well, that should stop the player from walking through there. It also makes it look like the desert. We'll just go ground for this. Ah, that's not the thing I want. This is what I want. Perfect. Our collider is actually there. Nice. So we might need to extend that up a block or two so you can see it's the desert, I guess. So points, the more northern point in the x-axis is what we want to adjust. So, oops. Let's grab the one on this side first so we can see where it's at. And that's probably good there. Let's copy that over to make a nice straight line. This stuff here, how am I going to handle that? Tile palette, overworld, this corner, I guess. Back to collisions. Fill it in like this. And then back to grass, ground layer. Right, and then we'll do okay, and we'll go back to desert. See, so we can take that. There we go. Starting to come together. Let's see. Can I move it over now? Can. If I select first all of this, then go move. That's better. I take this, make that there. And that there. Our confiner for our camera stops there, so you're not really going to see any of this, I guess. We could move it down. So you could. Let's try it. Gonna move. There we go. And then on the ground layer, we need to change it to be this. Why are you not going? Ground, I say. Okay, is that not on the ground? On deco? Ground. Whatever. It's working now. Come on, cooperate with me. There's that side. Back to ground. Sand. Make those first two and then just do a flood fill. All the rest of this. Back to colliders. Grab those. There. Okay, so now the exit point for the desert is down here. We can grab that and put it up here now. So as soon as you walk up to here, where's our confiner at? Right there. Okay, so as soon as we get near that exit point, it will teleport us. I can actually snap this right into that spot. Snap all access, please. There we go. Then the ground for this stuff needs to be changed up a bit. So we can make this desert here, I think. In fact, this whole thing probably can be desert. It should look okay. Oops. We're on the collision layer still. Ground. That makes the little path look okay. But I think we want to extend this path up instead. So on our ground layer, let's control click this. And paint it in. Is that not painting the rule tile? Is it a rule tile? It's not. Okay. So control click this here. There. There we go. And then this just needs to be all this. Our path extended. Two out of three sides so far. Or two out of three. So we've already had the one defined. And maybe we'll put some decoration on top of that hill to make it look a little nicer. Which is certainly doable. Put some rocks and things that are in the desert up there. And we walk right in that spot, and it teleports us into the desert. Now, the desert, of course, needs cleaned up too. Match up, but we're good to go. Okay, so decorations for desert stuff. So I think when the exterior towns, no, extra objects. We've got some various rocks and things that we've put in here, and these will be completely visual only. There's no need to put them on a specific collider or anything. And we only need to get things that go to this or below. So anything up there is not going to be seen. Dead trees. Decoration, please. What else we got? Yeah, a great big dead tree. Big rock. Now we're starting to look good. It's not so plain Jane then. Okay, so let's get some more of these kind of trees in our scene then, now that we've got everything else kind of worked out. But I think I want to set those trees up different than how they are now. Do I want to define those as their own object, and then you can walk behind them? I think so. Right now, the way they are is that entire tree is not walkable. So you couldn't walk into its leaf area even. So you can kind of see there, if I zoom extremely in, there's a collider on it. So to do this, let's go to another scene. That development scene I use. Empty development scene. So boom, delete you. And we're going to create a new game object. Reset your transform right away. Tree. Go to probably, is it extra objects that has it? It is. Let's see if I can set the size of this just right. Don't think I can. Trying to make the tree parts all line up with the way they should, but it's not going to happen. Okay. So it's going to take some guessing. So here's the top of the tree. Come on, drag in there. Why didn't you? There we go. How wide is it? It's 1, 2, 3 tiles wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. Okay, so all those go in, and these should have a Y of 5. Oops. Negative 0.5. Where did you go? This should be at 0, and this one should be plus 0.5. No. There we go. And then these three be the next, so drag them in. And they'll be at Y4. That is the middle. It's those three. That's this. These should be at 3. Nope. You really should have your cough looked at, Fire.
What's that?
You should have your cough looked at by a doctor. You're doing it all the time.
Just a cough.
Okay. You say so. Hopefully you're right. Okay, those three. And wait a minute. Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be 1, 2, 3. This is 0 based. Okay. Wrap. So if I make these at 1, and then I drag everything down 1. That's half. But there's a whole one. That should do it. And then this can go there. This can go there. There's a tree object. So let's save this. We need to add all those scripts. Boom, done. What else is there? Need a collider. I need to set all of these scripts to have the parent tree as their parent. And set them all to have 5, because that way we can see it. So go into decorations, we'll go trees. There's a subfolder. And drag this right into there, save, go back to the overworld, put it in place, test it out. Okay, so here it is, prefabs, trees. Let's just drag one into the world. We can place it wherever we want now. By 5. 7, 5, 0.5, 5. Tile palette. Probably on collision. Erase that one. Put it into deco. Go, and let's actually create a new child object inside this. Call it trees. Wherever it created it. There it is. Create new ones, call it hay. So I'm just kind of being organized with this stuff, guys. That's what I'm trying to do. Create another one. Wheat. Put you under deco, not the trees. Or hay, whatever you are. So none of this organization is necessary, I'm just doing it. Miss. If I end up with 50 trees in this scene, I would rather have it under one object I can collapse, so I can find the wheat and the hay and all that stuff rather easily. There's that tree. Let's test it out. Let's walk around the tree. Let's see how it interacts. Part of the reason I wanted to do this as well is before, if you'd hit the leaves of the tree with your bow, that'd be then to your shot of your bow, right? It would just stop. Now if you hit the trunk, it does that. So you can shoot through the trees now, as long as it doesn't hit the trunk. You can't there, but if I was over, say, here, can't shoot through. Put my head half through the leaves. I can be in front of it, I can be behind of it. It seems to be working properly now. Versus this tree, right? So this tree you couldn't shoot through. You couldn't walk past its leaves. You couldn't really do nothing to it. It was very odd. Whereas this one, you can walk around it now. I like it. I'm gonna go stick with it. So let's do that for the other trees then. So if I just duplicate this bad boy and drag him down. He's now in place. Duplicate him. Duplicate. Right now that's our only trees, so we'll just stick with that. We'll go to down here. We're gonna say tile map on the collision one. Grab an area like that, and we'll start erasing this, right? Get rid of these trees out of there, boom. So now they're only the object, and they're not on the colliders. Our collision layer is starting to look pretty barren, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Less for the composite thing to try and figure out. Guess this is on that layer, huh? Shouldn't be. Should be low colliders. Grab this brush. Control that. Paint that back in. There we go. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Starting to be happy with the scene. Why does that look like water now? This grass random. Okay, this does need to be updated, I guess. Somehow. Go to a different menu. Overworld. Yeah, okay. Just a bug in Unity. Oh no, these trees are all screwed up now. So those are probably on colliders. Erase. File map. Yeah, let's just get rid of these ones. Probably end up just doing the same thing with these. In fact, let's just go ahead and do it. I need to stop putting stuff off and just do it as I see it, so I don't forget. So this will be like a dead tree. So if I find this prefab, in here we'll make a variant of it. This variant will be dead tree. And we got this dead tree variant open. I think the dead tree is only 3 wide though. Or 2 wide, I mean. So it looks like 1, 2 wide. Down through all these. They're right before these trees, so I can find them pretty easy. Grabbing those pieces. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 in height. 5 in height, just like this one. Okay. So if we get rid of, say, every 3rd one out of here. Like that. Oh, okay. Okay, well that's easy enough to fix then. So we'll start from scratch. It wants it to... Like you can't delete an object from the prefab variant apparently. So trees, we'll get rid of this. Delete. And we'll just start a newest tree. Dead tree. And it is at 0 now. Back to the tile map. So if we focus on these, I don't know which one's which really. Not with this much detail. We'll drag it in another layer. This should be up 4. These should be up 3. Not that. Go 0.5 negative. And then this and this go 5. That way. That looks better. Okay, so that's those two. Then we need to drag in this. And this. They should be both up 2. One, 2, 3. Go. And this. That. You will be up 1. Nope, 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 nope. One at a time. Okay, then we add a collider. should do it. And our prefabs folder. We drag you in. Oh wait. This. Oh. Saying they're dynamic, but we can check that, I guess, because these are static. I guess we can do that for this tree too. Static. Don't need to update you every frame, just when you first spawn in. Okay, now go back to the world. And our tile palette, get rid of you. Under collision. What do we need to watch out for? Okay, the fence. There we go. And if we find our object for decoration in somewhere in here, there it is. Yeah, tree's already defined. We can just drag a tree right into there. Of course, you're out in the middle of nowhere. So we'll say object, move to view. Okay, we need to open you up. Value 5. Up everything. Except for that collider. Interesting. Now when it runs, it will be. We know it will be. But why? That collider shouldn't be on top collision layer. It should be in collision. But it's all to order in layers 5. Okay. Fair enough. Duplicate you. Wait. Let's snap you to the grid first. That fixed it. Must have had a Z value. It does have a Z value. And then the other benefit of doing it this way is, like, I can have a tree here and here, both. They can be on top of each other almost. The other method with the tile map painting didn't work for doing that. Like, I can have a really thick forest this way. Here we go. Okay, let's run it. See what it looks like. How's it play and everything? Oh, alright, can't save it now. Get off my screen. Nice. You can walk through the trees still. Shoot in there. Go over top of this. Still navigate around. They block me where they're supposed to. I like it. So there's a place for both types, right? So, or a use for both types. This makes sense when I should be able to walk in front of it or behind it. This makes sense as it being just a tile on the grid because I can't interact with that at all. Where it's located, I physically can't get there. It's quick and dirty for me to paint it that way. Yeah, that's all there is to it, really. Can I walk through there? No, I can't. I think we're doing good. How am we at? 540. Well, I might do... So I need to just stand up for a while, right? I need to not sit. I might send you guys off to somebody else here while I take a break, get some dinner, things like that. And I'll come back a little later on tonight, or at least that's the plan. And we'll pick up where we left off. Maybe we can get this right-hand side, get the trees set up for that area, right? Because that's going to be going off towards the forest. Maybe extend this river up a little bit, bring the desert down a little bit, or something like that. We'll figure out how it's going to look later, because right now we can walk off the game board. We shouldn't be able to do that. We'll go from there. So let's see who we can raid, guys. Who all is streaming right now?
Mizzou at distance. That was a long distance.
Oops, had my sounds on. Let's see. So let's see. Anybody doing Unity first off? Game dev. Game dev. We do Leyland. He's got a pretty good game going on. Well, let's rate him. I rate him a lot, so let's keep it up. You guys will be in good hands. He's got an awesome game going. So I'll see you guys after a bit. Bye. Go.